PB is only separated by 11 seconds. So I think, Michael, I reckon this is going to be hot racing.
I was just thinking that as well. Just the standard to get into the B race, and not only to miss the B race. So I remember my year about 15 odd ago, as an 8:55 runner. I was on the cusp of making a Zatopek under 20, but those days are well and truly changed, and the competitiveness is unreal to see, with half of the athletes on track for this B race coming from interstate.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of the athletes that you don't get confirmed until quite late for these races. So some of these guys would have booked their tickets maybe after, maybe the first meet, the 3,000 of the season, maybe an all-schools opener in Queensland. It's like the Jai Tarima Shield. In Victoria, it would have been the first milers meet we had. These guys hit a good time. They hit somewhere around 8:30, and they're hoping they're getting that A race. And then they're finding out then the B. As we said, it's no different for them tonight. It's PB's what they're chasing.
Especially as the crowd's starting to build here now, the atmosphere, they might get bit of pyrotechnics as they cross the line if they're in the top few as well.
I'll leave it to you, Michael. Call this field as we get underway.
As we're in the starters' hands. And first up from Victoria, we have Aidan Velton, Queensland. We have Max Hooper from Victoria, Alexander Angus from New South Wales, Brayden Everett from Victoria, Bradley Hall from Queensland, Charlie Moore from Victoria, Joshua Johnston, Charles Chandler, Ben Mornane from Tasmania, Tom Winkle from New South Wales, Oliver Ham from Victoria, Ruben Howard from South Australia, Thomas Kavanagh, and to round out the field of 14 in this men's under 20B 3,000 metres from the ACT is John Maguire.
And straight away, it's those two Brisbane athletes that I talked about pre-race. It's Max Hooper on the inside rail, the taller of the two Queenslanders on his outside in the white shorts. Very basketball-looking style shorts. Big Caleb Law type sprinting shorts he's got there. That's Charlie Moore of Queensland. So these two are familiar with each other. They train at the UQQ track. They do a lot of golf course work up in Queensland. And these two are going to be setting for that. They want something in those low 820s tonight.
And you can tell it's fast too. Like, they got out of the blocks quick, and then they kind of settled to see who was going to take the pace. And then once these Queenslanders went to the front, they made their intention known. And through the first
67,
400, 68,
yeah.
33.8 for the first two. Like, they're very much gone out that 8:30 pace to start off with.
And I reckon these sort of lads have got the ability to kick home and go quick, close to 60-second last lap.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
So they're going to probably run at 8:30 pace for the whole night, hoping that they go low 820s.
Yeah.
And you can tell the pace is on as the field is already kind of stringing out. And there's a little bit of a bunch and a battle to still be in the mix towards the front, but it more or less is a one-for-one train being formed, only 600 metres into this race.
Yeah, so Max Hooper is on the inside leading the field through at the moment. Charlie Moore, his Queensland training partner, on his outside then next. Then you've got Charles Chandler, the Victorian. He's sitting there in third at the moment. On the inside rail, it's Bradley Hall, then another Victorian. Joshua Johnston, then a Victoria also. Then goes back to the tall Tasmanian there and Tom Winkle. So Tom Winkle bouncing along quite nicely there. And then just sitting behind him at the moment, it's Ben Mornane, another Victorian. So the interstate athletes prominent, as you would expect, making the most of the perfect conditions here to race 7.5 laps at the on-track night of nights here at the Zatopek 10 in this men's under 23,000 metre B race. Brady, I'll get you to call the 1K split as they come down. But again, it's our Queenslanders. Again, we've called them Charlie Moore and Max Hooper leading their way down the front straight, with just behind them Bradley Hall of Victoria.
It's going to be pretty close to 250 as they look at each other. 250 on the dot, 0.48, and another 67, 68 laps. So they're settled in, and you can see why there's no, everyone's kind of got their spot. No one's trying to get on the rail. Everyone knows where their place is in the field here and probably happy to jump on that train.
I think what's interesting, you mentioned the Eureka athletes pre-race. The three of them come in with personal best separated by only 3.5 seconds. Now, as you mentioned, they know each other pretty well. There's going to be some bragging rights post-race for this one for the boys as well. That sort of who's going to be the first one to go sub 8:30 and who's going to finish in front of each other tonight in this B race of the 3,000 metre under 20.
A couple of these boys have good 5K strength as well. It's probably no secret coming from Ballarat that you're fairly strong. They've kind of broken 15 minutes before, so this pace won't worry them too much. I'm just not sure if they've got the kick finish to come. I don't know enough about their 800 metre speed, Nick.
Well, look, they come back down under the bridge there. So When they come down the straight here, they'll have the old mile to go. So 4 laps to go. It's the Queenslanders now, and you can tell they've picked up the pace because we've just lost 3 a little bit off the back there. The South Australian, Tom Kavanagh, the first one just to drop off the back there at the moment. With also, who's that there? It's Ruben Howard and also Aiden Velton. So they're the only 3 we've lost of our pack at the moment. So the rest of them there, Hooper and Charlie Moore continue to lead that crew through. The Eureka athletes are all in that mix, and in between them's the Tasmanian there in Tom Winkle.
And I'm liking Bradley Hall, who's sitting in 3rd position. He's an athlete who races regularly, and just over the last couple of seasons, almost every one of those races has been a PB or close to, and he's just sitting in a very nice position there behind the Queenslanders. As they come through 2Ks, we'll get actually 1,600 metres.
And that slowed a bit. That was 35.5, that 200, and you can see it now because it's bunched. So this is where people got to be careful. Watch the heels, watch the legs. You don't want to go over in a race that has 3 laps to go. I'm
surprised a little bit. The Queenslanders still keeping it right on that sort of 8:30 tempo. They're obviously expecting to kick down a little bit. I mean, and like we said, yes, it's not a championship race, but I suppose there is a bit of a kick tonight, having a win and feeling like you've won in front of a big crowd. It's the biggest crowd any of these lads would have run in front of before.
Get that fire going off when you cross the line.
Exactly, and the one they're making the move now, the noticeable one there's Oliver Ham. So Oliver Ham, the New South Welshman, he's making the move down the outside. He's in the blue singlet. He's sort of just boxed in there, that Victorian, you said, who's been looking good there in Bradley Hall. He's going to make sure he doesn't get checked there. And the tallest of the Eureka athletes at the moment just sits at the back of them. So it's still at the moment, it's a group of 11. So 11 athletes making their way down the back straight. And as we said, it'll be a 2K split.
That lap was 71, so that's too slow for these boys. You can start to see some of them are starting to make a move now down the back straight.
And this is where we would start to expect the train to lose some carriages, the elastic band to stretch as we go through 5:44. So a 250 and a 254. The pace is slowing as we do lose a couple of athletes off the back of that pack. There's still about 6 or 7 in the main group, and the 2 Queenslanders still leading the way. Can they lead from gun to tape, though?
I think it's going to be a pretty strong sit and kick finish here. 2 laps to go here. There's a lot of moves being made. We've now dropped 2 more off the back of that pack there. So it's Ben Mornane's the first of the Eureka athletes to get dropped. But at the moment now it's 9 athletes remain, and there's the move there by John Maguire, the ACT athlete. So he comes in with the slowest seed time of the lot, and he said, lads, I'm going to move myself up these rankings. Nearly all of them came in here with personal best times to qualify for this race tonight, so they're looking for big PBs.
As Bradley Hall, who we mentioned, just slipping back in the field. We said he was looking pretty, but it is John Maguire, who has bided his time, waited about 5th or 6th back in the field and just goes bang with 2 laps to go, as our Queensland athletes are doing their best to chase him. Yeah, Charlie Moore from Queensland and Max Hooper still in the mix, 600 metres left.
Now, Michael, I thought there was a really big move down the back straight, but that was a bit of the on-media social. That was a bit of the on-track social media team. Yeah. Just trying to keep up for 50 metres. I'm looking forward to that footage later on because it's going to highlight Charlie Moore trying to desperately hang on to John Maguire down the back straight.
This is big this far out.
Maguire's gone hard. So 500 metres to go. Maguire's looking good. That New South Wales athlete we mentioned, Oliver Ham's now the one that's getting headed at the tall figure that we haven't seen and we haven't called right through, and that's Brayden Everett in New South Wales. So at the moment it's ACT, New South Wales, Queensland, New South Wales, Queensland. They are showing us a clean set of heels, the Victorians. The Eureka boys are going to need to make a move because at the moment our top 6 are all interstate visitors.
We said this was a pseudo-national championship, as you said, Nick. Top 6 international visitors. A 31-second last 200 was that final split. And we just see John Maguire. He's just increasing his stride length and putting the burners on with 250 metres to go. Our other interstate athletes doing their best to chase, but
here we go, though, Michael. I reckon Brayden Everett's the threat. He's the tallest man in the field, and with about 400 to go, he made a distinctive move, and here he goes past the Peking Duck stage. He's going to go under the on-track Knights Bridge next, and right now under that bridge, he goes straight past Maguire like he's standing still. So Everett, the New South Welshman, 8:31's his PB. He's going to slash that tonight comfortably. He moves past the on-track Knights signs going the front straight, and it's going to be the man from New South Wales, Brayden Everett. He's just taken 7 seconds off his PB. Second through Maguire. The first of the Queenslanders through next was Charlie Moore with a really big run. Oliver Ham of New South Wales. The Tasmanian Winkle. Just behind him there was Max Hooper. The first of our Victorians home there looked to be Ben Mornane. Sorry, that's Ben Mornane coming through now. Charles Chandler was the one that was just in front of him. After a really good form early, Bradley Hall comes through next. Then it is the next Victorian there in Alexander Angus. Aiden Velton goes past us now here. The South Australian in Thomas Kavanagh. And our final Victorian here rounding out the field, I reckon that's Ruben Howard. But what great racing there. We had the first 4 or 5 men under 8:30, I reckon, Brady.
Oh, and John Maguire doesn't lose any fans trying to do it like that. I was concerned that he thought he was on the Bell lap when he wasn't with that huge move with 200 metres to go, but had a bit of grimace on his face here at the Bell, had a big crack, tried, didn't die wondering, but what a finish there to come home in 61, I think I clocked it at, 61.7, which is amazing to see in a B grade race we're talking about.